Peace, 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 peace. Peace to the Aborigines. You already know who this is. I am the Taunchless one. And we're gonna talk about Charleston. Charleston formally apologizes for his role in slavery, right? Now, we're gonna talk about this, man, because it's a lot of apologies going on for slavery, but the people who was enslaved is still at the bottom of the fucking total hole. And they making all these formal apologies, and these sorry ass black leaders we got ain't trying to say, well, you need to pay up. Since you were admitting the wrongdoing, you should be paying up. And it's not, you can't say you don't know who the people are, because you know who the African Americans are, the people who've been in this land is. You know what I'm saying? One day I plan on trying to get my money. I don't give a fuck. I plan on getting my land and getting my money, all right? So let's get with this shit, man. This shit make me sick, yo, to my fucking stomach. All right, it says Southern City is formally apologizing for its dark past. Charleston, South Carolina has approved a resolution that condemns and apologizes for centuries of human slavery. It say that were supported and promoted by its former lawmakers. Okay, so you had motherfuckers making laws to enslave people, but the people who was making laws was making it against the people of the land. The city council, 12 members voted 7-5 to adapt the symbolic resolution Thursday night, coinciding with Juneteenth. Okay, say the celebratory anniversary of the abolish of slavery in the United States. The port city played a major role in Atlantic slave trade. Nearly half of the people who were abducted, they said abducted, it wasn't abducted from their homes in Africa, they was abducted from their homes in America, motherfucker. So get it right. It say and shipped to the United States to be sold as slave. So into slavery, took the first step on American soil in Charleston. It say slaves made up almost half of the city population before the start of the American War, according to International African American Museum. See? Okay, we're gonna get down to the bottom of this though, right? And look what they put up there. They say this is modern city council which feels the need to make the apology for the institution of slavery in the city of Charleston. Charleston Councilman William Dudley Georgery, it say, who helped Arthur and Shepard the resolution, told ABC News on a phone and telephone interview on Tuesday vote. All right, now you already know what this is. I'm going back over this before we do anything, because you know what? Before I even go in, fuck it. Yo, these are the pictures that you need to fucking government and tell them that these motherfuckers owe you. Because it's just so ironic that I could just pick a picture. Look, you got the same thing slaves got on. You understand what I'm saying? Go to Paraguay, got the same fucking things the slaves got on. These are the pictures niggas need to take and try to get their fucking reparations to prove, because they clearly showing you right here. There's no way no fucking Africans that's been in the bottom of no fucking shit for 5 months or whatever in piss, shit, urine, and defecation or whatever. There's no way that they're going to still have this same fucking traditional garb on after making it here. So we know these are fucking Indians, okay? Now, like I said, man, we're gonna go further into this. All right, so Georgery is who also a trustee at Emmanuel African Method Episcopal Church. It say in Charleston, said the resolution is long time coming and the testimony to the power of the collaboration. He did extensive research to reach a draft that was shared with his fellow councilmen. The councilman said he still can't shake the pain caused by the massacre at his church 3 years ago, in which 9 passengers was killed. They say we're trying to turn our pain. Now they talking about the shit that happened at that church. You're supposed to be talking about slavery, okay? You know what I'm saying? So they say we're trying to turn our pain into something positive. They say we recognize that people apologize by the way they live and say, and they've given individuals. It's not as if people haven't been apologizing through action. So what action have they apologized with? Because if they was apologizing through action, they would have fucking paid us. All right. It says the first institution doing its best, he added. It say, Bishop, we shouldn't let these niggas get away with this, man. This apology. People should be protesting this shit. Well, if you want to apologize and admit the wrongdoing, then you need to fucking pay up. You understand what I'm saying? And say Charleston was among those who pledged support for the revolution. It say Jesus loved and accepted and embraced all. Here you go with that Jesus shit. It said their race and gender, nationality matter to him. And so our African-American brothers and sisters have suffered greatly because of slavery and Jim Crow law. This apology is an important step in the healing wounds that are still evident even today, he said in a statement. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. You need to fucking pay up and give us our fucking land. Okay? It say the language in a 3-page resolution applicably takes responsibility from the dehumanizing atrocities, it say, that were conducted, that was condoned for hundreds of years. The resolution goes on to detail how the economic success of colonial and antebellum Charleston, formerly known as Charlestown, no, it was named after King Charles III. It say was slave labor and it whatever, due to the enterprise and ingenuity, they say, and hard labor of enslaved Africans who were forced to endure inhuman working conditions that produce wealth for many. Now, these motherfuckers who got the money need to be paying up. But the people who got the money went on to form these governments to form the fucking country. They say, but which was deemed to them. All right, it's the documents also admits to the institution of slavery sought to suppress, if not destroy, the cultural and social values of Africans by stripping Africans of their ancestry names and custom, humiliating and brutalizing them through sexual exploitations and selling Africans relatives apart from one another without regards to the connection of the family. All right. I go further. Yes, this is where it was passed. So it's saying the name of basic decent of the name of basic decent. The resolution calls for the city to make a formal acknowledgement and apology for its role in regulating, supporting, and fostering the institution of slavery in the city and past wrong inflection of African American here in Charleston everywhere. So after they did what they did, they enslaved you, used you for your slave labor, took your land, and now they apologize after they came up. The document also allow the significant contributions made by Charleston community by talented and skilled Aborigines. It say that reflected in the agriculture, architect, artisanship, arts, and cuisine of this city. Certainly, the city father of Charleston has much to apologize for over the course of history for the treatment of Aboriginal American Indians. David Schill and English professors at the University of South Carolina told ABC News in a phone interview Tuesday. All right. So now look, fuck this. See this? See this? We can prove this is not Africans, all right? So they need to stop fucking playing with us, man. Because this shit right here, man, it's like, yo, they show you the pictures and then at the same fucking time try to play you. Now, these American Indians, you understand what I'm saying? Now, look, check this out. Went over these pictures, but fuck it. See this? He got the same freaking thing on that the motherfucking slaves got on, right? Got the same freaking thing on, but this is not a slave. Well, he probably an indentured servant working for these Europeans, okay? Remember, when you didn't want to give up the land, he took it. Point fucking blank, all right? It's like this picture right here, London, Virginia. These are Aborigines working. These are not fucking Africans, okay? They're not Africans. We can easily prove this shit easily. Look, like I said, man, look. Even when you look at this right here, you see the feather crown on in that tobacco skirt. Even right here, like I said, as long as they're gonna keep showing you pictures like this, talking about these are Africans, you know, you take the same shit to the fucking to the state, man, and show them, nah, we Indians, y'all declassified us and made us Africans. Okay, now it wouldn't be the Thompson's one if I couldn't go. Matter of fact, what? Let me just put this out there too, just to let you know. I'm gonna touch on a little bit of history of it. All right, yo, I'm not in the mood for reading, so I will be fucking up. So, I mean, it is what it is. You already know how my reading is. You already know how this shit goes. All right. So, overview history of Charleston, South Carolina. King Charles II of England gave Carolina territory 8 loyal friends, then collective known as the Lord Proprietors. In 1663, the first Carolina settlement was Charlestown, named after King Charles. They say which would later be shortened to Charlestown. The community was established in 1670 across the Ashley River from Charlestown, present-day location. This site was chosen by Anthony Ashley Cooper with a mission of becoming thriving port town. Okay? Port town. All right? Let me see something else. Now check this shit out right here. Hold up. It says the new era. I ain't reading. I'm gonna read this. It says the new era at Charlestown. Well, let me read this. This ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck I'm talking about. Matter of fact, you know what? It says trades begin with Bermuda and the Caribbean, with many migrants coming to those areas. Some French, Scottish, and Irish, all European. It says Germans transported to Charlestown, bringing different regions, including Protestants. It says Catholic and Judaism to Charlestown. It's a free black Charlestonians. It's a and black slaves team to build the old Bethel United Methodist Church. All right. Now, I'm not even gonna go. I'm about to go into this right here. I got another article right here. All right. Matter of fact, I got a couple articles. Then check this out. Look. I'm just going to be touching on a couple of these different articles. Some of these articles are long, so I'm just going to be kind of skimming through them. All right, say Indian slavery is an important part of South Carolina history. It say that many knowing nothing about yet no other state has the historical documents. It's a Native Americans enslaved people. It say as early as 1683, the settlers was making war with coastal American Indian groups in order to take them captives as slavery. It say and natives were still fighting for their freedom and rights for as late as 1838. The presentation explores that both African American and Native Americans experienced the colonial South Carolina. All right, now check this out. We're going to get into this, man. We're going to get into this, all right? You already know I like to show evidence. So if anybody else that never came here who don't believe that they was enslaved in the Indian, because look, understand this. These are American Indians. These are not fucking Africans, you idiots. I just proved to people that they was calling the Indians Negroes. Why would they call them Negroes? Just proof. I mean, I don't even have to go into it, but why would they give you this? And you say people imported from Charlestown. Now, these are American Indians. We could easily prove this. Just for the idiots. These are American Indians, see? See this? Why do these people got the same thing on that the African slaves got on? Then you said you enslaved them as well. So they don't even know at this point in time who the fuck the Africans and the Indians are, because they so programmed by history. All right, so look. Let's go into this, man. Let me go back quick, make sure y'all can hear me, man. Let's go into this, man. Let me go back quick, make sure y'all can hear me, man. I guess y'all can hear me. All right, so it'll be taking long to load up, but we good in the chat room, I guess, right? Let me see something. All right, we good in the chat room, right? We good? All right, let's move ahead, all right? Now check this out. See, well, I'm trying to find numbers. I want to find numbers to how many, because they only bought 280, according to them, 380,000, which the numbers is getting smaller, which I assume that it was only like 200,000 people supposedly bought here. And we don't even know if they was already the Aborigines that was already here. Okay, now check this out. It's a colonial America depended on the enslavement of indigenous people. The role of enslaving Aborigines in the early history in America is overlooked, is often overlooked. Smithsonian Institute, okay? It's a textbook, because you know why it's overlooked? Because I don't want you to know that the Indians black. That's what they don't want you to know. See, they don't want you to know that all around the world with black people, including the Americas. Okay, it's a textbooks and classroom lessons. Plans are starting to, to present a more clear-eyed view of American history, such as slowly recognizing the violence that happened when European settlers encountered the indigenous people of the so-called New World. But they are still many overlooked stories. One of these startling omissions to the history books is something Margaret Ellen Newell is calling attention into her new book. It says brethren. It say brethren, but no, it say brethren by nature. Sorry, I'm bugging. It say colonists living in New England relied on the labor of thousands of Native Americans to build their new lives. So how the fuck you gonna come here and enslave the people, and then lie to the people and tell them that they Africans, man? So fucking much money. That's ridiculous, man. The enslavement of the New England indigenous people was glossed over. Why was it glossed over? You know why it was glossed over? That they was enslaved Indians. You'll start figuring out that if they say they was enslaving Indians, you'll start figuring out that the damn Indians was Negroes. Okay, now look, I still got this up right here. Check this out. I still got this up. The Aboriginal races of America, which I touched on earlier. It say these facts, however, are mere exceptions to the general rules and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is undivinely characteristics as that of a fucking Negro. Okay, so look. So when they show you this right here, you're like, oh, is these Africans or are these Indians? Are these, because they saying that the Indians are Negro. And I got 5 sources that's telling me this. You understand what I'm saying? They all people who did the research, and they all probably found the same information that I found out, but they just don't want to come out with it. They just don't want to tell people, because they don't keep minimizing the numbers. Oh, it was only, you brought 380,000 people here, but it was less people here than the people you brought here? Nah, I ain't falling for that. And we got evidence. We got plenty of evidence to prove to you that they was enslaving us. All right. Where was I? All right, I was right here. All right, I said, all right, it says, all right, the enslavement of New England indigenous people was glossed over in the works of historians after World War I. See, it was glanced over over the works of the historians after World War I. Noel says, as Tanya H. Lee reports, an Indian Country Today, Noel, associated professor of history at Ohio State University, writes the historians reconstructing the compelling narrative of Puritan migrants. It say many of these works stressed a uniqueness of New England culture and sought the origins of American exceptionalism. Okay, now look. Oh, what the fuck this shit is, man? These weird ass pop-ups on my screen, y'all. All right, let me get it right here. All right, during the course of researching her book, from dependencies and independencies, economic revolution in colonial New England, Noel came across a list of Native American slaves kept by colonists in Massachusetts Bay. She was surprised by the find. She had been taught that New England colonists didn't keep Native Americans as slaves. And say because they often ran away. It say, but the impression is incorrect. Okay? Now look. Now, we already know about King War. It said the colonial economic depended on slavery, many well-to-do household function only because of slavery. It say early colonial legal codes were devised to justify slavery, and the Pequot King Philip War was fought in a largely measured perpetual slavery. Indeed, in 1630, the Connecticut River Valley was home to the powerful Pequots. The settlers at Plymouth and Massachusetts Bay wanted their riches. Wanted their riches. It's a futile land, and in order to get it, they pursued Mohegans and Nassagaret allies to help them fight the Pequots. In 1637, they burnt the villages and banks of the Mystic River of southeast Connecticut, killing 400 to 700 Pequots, according to Society and Colonial Wars in the state of Connecticut. That massacre turned the tide of the war, and Pequots survived, was purchased and captured and sold as slaves. King Philip War in the mid-1670, which fought to protest the English colony encroaching influence and let me move it up. Hold up, where was I at? It's saying and forced labor of Native Americans ended as many as 40% of the Indians of southern New England living in English households as indentured servants or slaves. Lee writes. Okay? Say the English colonists weren't the only ones to use the labor of the indigenous people. It say, of course, the Spanish were almost totally dependent on Indian labor in many of their colonies. It say, right, Allen Gallo. It say for History Now. It's saying enslaving Native Americans became one of the primary ways to expand the economics. It say for colonists in South Carolina and lesser extent in North Carolina, Virginia, and Louisiana. Now hold the fuck up. Let's read this one more time. Enslaving Native Americans became primarily ways to expand the economics for colonists in South Carolina and lesser extent in North Carolina, Virginia, and Louisiana. It say from 1670 to 1720, more Indians were shipped out of Charleston, South Carolina than Africans was imported as slaves. It's saying Charleston was a major port for bringing Africans Galloway right. Yo, man, look, man. I mean, like I said, man, I'm taking this shit I'm taking this to somebody, man, because somebody need to know about this. And they trying to, and then I bet the numbers are more confusing. All right. As the African slave trade took off in the 1700s, it say the Native Americans was wine. It say many remaining tribes have been pushed west. It say, but something else was taking place that pushed the data down. It say as well as Native Americans intermarrying with African Americans. Say the children was often referred to as color. It's now understand this. The children that was colored was because they was colored because they was mixing with the Europeans, not because they was mixing with the Aborigine, effectively erasing their Native American heritage. The enslavement of Native Americans thus became obscure. It say, but modern DNA technology helped keep that story from being lost to time. Okay, now I got another one right here. We're gonna keep it moving with this shit. Got another one right here, and this one is long, so let's do it. The forgotten story of Indian slavery. It say when America thinks of slavery, our mind creates images of African and humanly crowded aboard ships. It say the middle passage of Africa or of blacks stoop to pick cotton in southern fields. Now remember, cotton was your shit. These bastards came here and took everything. Everything that they wanted, everything that they seen you with, they took. Anything that you was pushing that they can sell, that they can get money for, barter, they eventually took it from you. Okay, say we don't conjure images of American Indians chained It say chained in Coastal. It say in March to ports like Boston and Charleston. It say and then shipped to other ports like in the Atlantic world. It say yet Indian slavery and the Indian slaves were whatever. It say in the earliest American. It say from the Atlantic to the Pacific and from the Gulf of Mexico to Canada. Tens of thousands of American native people were enslaved. Many of them was transported to lands distant from their homes. It say our historical mythology. It say posits that American Indians could not be enslaved. It say in large numbers because they was too readily succumb to disease when exposed. See, that's the shit that they try to tell you, that they was, because you're gonna start asking, what happened to all these people? What happened to all these people? Was it more people here than the Africans that was born here? So what the fuck would that make us? That would make us more Indian than African. But they don't want to put that out there. Okay, now let me see where I was at. All right, it says succumb to disease when exposed to the European, and there were two wedded to. No, I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Sorry about that. All right, let me read that again. All right, start right. It said because they was too readily succumb to disease when exposed to Europeans, and they were too wedded to freedom to allow anyone to own them. All right, yet many indigenous people developed resistance to European diseases after being exposed to the newcomers for well over a century. Now ask yourself this, right? How the fuck did the Africans survive it, but the Indians couldn't? That's the reason why you got to take a hepatitis. That's the reason why you got to take smallpox, measles, because that's all the diseases that these dirty motherfuckers had when they came here. And that's the reason why you have to be vaccinated, because that shit is still in their fucking system. Okay, so yet many of the indigenous people developed resistance to European diseases after being exposed to the newcomers for well over a century, and it is a racist conception, and that inferior Africans accepted their debased positions as slaves. It's a status that American Indians and Europeans presumably could never have accepted. This is a gross misconception of history. We are just scratching the surface of what this all means for the enslavement of Indians, forced to rethink not only the institution of slavery, but evolution of racism and racist ideologies in America. In the 17th century, Europeans, Africans, and American Indians all accepted slavery as legitimate social institutions. Okay? And check out. They say the treatment status of the enslaved vary greatly. Say from group to group. They say war captives provide most slaves. They say though the European made slave inheritable. Inheritable. My bad, inheritable. They say Africans and Indians did in exchange slaves as commodities. They say but Europeans introduced the international market economics for labor as colonial plantation society developed in sustainable demand for workers. It's a spurred the African slave trade as well as various forms of bond labor of impoverishment Europeans. They say in the American South, European traded, mostly British colonists operated out of Charleston, Carolina, engaged local and distant American Indian tribes to undertake slaving against their neighbors. Now look, man, look, we got more than enough evidence to prove that we was here, man. We got more than enough evidence, more. They cannot prove you're fucking African. It say who could be made to walk to ships that would carry them to Barbados, New York, and Antigua. It say and other ports in the Atlantic world where they would work as slaves. The South Carolina used some of these slaves to work their plantation, but because of the ability to capture, to enslave over the familiar territory among familiar people, the captor preferred to export most of them elsewhere. Capital for selling Indians was used for funds for plantation and purchase of Africa. It was as if one could create capital out of thin air. Because they enslaved you and they using you to work. Now they getting money out of thin air. Just like they make tickets and you pay tickets out of thin air. No one is injured. You run a stop sign. Oh, you got to pay me for running that stop sign because you violated one of the codes and their policies. Okay? Now, it says the only effort lays in capturing the prey and transporting it to market. Native people engage enslaving for various reasons in exchange for captives. It's like they receive European goods. Now look, now listen. Now, like I tell you, motherfuckers, man, and I ain't trying to say that to the people in the chat room, but just for in general, right? Like I tell you, everybody talking about, oh, the Moors the one who sold you out. The Moors are the one who sold you out. When the niggas say that shit, you should elbow him in his fucking mouth, yo. For real. I'm gonna read this one more time, all right? I'm gonna read this one more time, all right? Where was I at? All right. It was as one could create capital out of thin air. The only effort lay in capturing the prey and support and transporting it to the market. Native people engaged in slavery for various reasons. In exchange for captives, they received European trades in goods. Okay? They received European trades and goods. Now, I got like 10 videos on Indian slavery. I got like 10 videos on it. So ain't nobody really fucking with me when it comes to this topic right here. I got plenty of videos on this. This is not my first video on it. You go back, you'll see I am the only one talking about about Indians that was enslaved. And I'm the only person who probably went in depth with it. Like I said, I like to thank Dan Calloway because he kind of helped me with the research when he explained the 1619 story, which I was kind of already getting close to. All right, so it says many also hope to forge closer relations with the British. You fucking sellouts. You sold your own people out so you can be closer to these Europeans, just like you do now. Just like you do now. And niggas telling you, oh, you better watch these more. No, you better watch these Aborigines. That's who you better watch. You better watch them. It say to refuse to become slave raiders, it say they risk becoming catalyzed as potential victims with their enemies. It say they're filling the role of slavery. It say the results. Let me see something. Hold up. It say the results. A frenzy of enslaving infected the regions as native captured not only their enemies, but people they never met. Hold up, man. See, look, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. I crack this shit wide open, bro. I'm crack this shit wide open. I'm giving myself a pat on the back because ain't none of these other niggas talking about this shit. None of them talking about it. Okay? Now, let me get finished with this shit, man. All right. They say, but people they never met. So they enslaved not only the capture, but they was enslaving just individuals to get traded for the shit. You understand what I'm saying? Just like we do now. Just like we do now. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was a fucking you know what I'm saying? I sold drugs, so I did things or whatever. So I can't omit myself because that's still kind of a you know what I'm saying? If I had a crackhead wash my car for $5 and I know this man got a problem, then that's a problem on me. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the same enslavement that these people did. And I'm putting it out there. But guess what? I rendered my services. I go around, I talk to these kids. I try to help these kids not make the same mistake I have and make them look through my vision so they can understand what this whole system and how the system was created. So the more materialistic shit you want, the more you will sell your fucking people out. Okay? The more you will sell your people out. So all these people telling you, oh man, you shouldn't be broke. Oh, you should have this and you should have that. You should think twice about being around them. Because them are the same people with the same energy that sold you out for trinkets. Okay? Let's get with it. All right, where was I at? Shit. Damn, my bad, y'all. I'm bugging. I don't even know where the hell I was at. I was right here somewhere. Let me see. All right, it's right here. Not only captured their enemies, but people they have never met. It says some went further and captured their friends and allies. What? Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. Let's read that one more time. You fucking sellouts. It says, let me see something. It says, hold up. Let me read that one more time. All right, say small-scale raids and attacks with fewer than a dozen people involved in large-scale wars. The British and American Indian allies seeking captives in the thousands, extended southward from Charleston to British and native raiders follow attacks upon native people of Georgia with massive, say upon native people of Georgia. Now check this out. Who was the Gullah and the Gitche? They was already in Georgia, okay? Now, they Africans. Oh, because they got this. Yo, man, this shit, man. I'm telling you, man. I gotta stop for a minute, yo. I just gotta stop, man. I'm getting anxiety. Real talk. Yeah, man, like really, man, you gotta really understand, bro. They giving you the images. We got thousands of pictures with the same fucking slave, with the same Indians that was here wearing the same shit the slave posters wearing. Then they telling you they was enslaving them, but at the same time they trying to say, oh well, because they mixed with the African, then you're not an Indian. Come on, man, stop the bullshit. All right, so where was we at? All right, it's extended southward. It's the Charleston British and native raiders followed attacks upon native people of Georgia with massive onslaughts against Indians and Spanish missions in northern Florida. Systematically, the raiders extended all the way to Florida Keys. Hold up. What did I just read, you guys, yesterday about the Gullah? What did they tell you the Gullah and Yamasee turned into? What did the Gullah and the Yamasee turn into? The Seminoles. Oh, they was black slaves that ran away. But right here they tell you, it's extended southward from Charleston. British and native raiders follow up attacks upon native people of Georgia. It say with massive onslaughts against Indians and Spanish missions in northern Florida. Systematically, the raiders extended all the way from Florida Keys. Simultaneously, the English established important ties with the Chickasaw, who became the key slavers, in lower Mississippi Valley, extending their attacks west of the Mississippi and south to the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, now look. Check this shit out, okay? The Chickasaw surrounded by enemies on all sides, using slaving as a way to strengthen themselves. And say at their enemies' expense. But great losses in slaving wars weakened them immensely. They say the number are difficult to calculate, but I estimate that 30,000 to 50,000, perhaps more. 30,000 to 50,000, perhaps more. Now they're telling you in Charleston alone that 40% of the slaves came there. So they're giving you these little ass numbers. So look, hold up. Let's ponder this shit. They telling you 40% of the so-called slaves came to Charleston, right? So how big of the number do it have to be to make the overall? They telling you 30 to 50,000, perhaps more. Now, we know more for them. They underestimating this shit. This shit probably in the fucking 200, almost 300,000 range, okay? Now, like I said, man, look, man, perhaps more American Indians was exported from Charleston. Thousands more was exported from ports like Boston and Salem. And on a much smaller scale by French from the New England. From New Orleans. What I told y'all, man. What I told y'all that the people they sent to IT came, or Haiti, IT came from New Orleans. And look, I'm telling you to do your own research on it, because I know after the English encroached upon the French didn't go back to France. They went to the island of Espanol, and they took their fucking slaves with them. That's why they revolted when they got there, because they know they wasn't from there. Untold numbers, which scholars are just beginning to calculate, with ultimately includes the thousands who were not exported from the regions but lived out their lives as slaves on plantations in Virginia, as farm laborers, say in Connecticut as domestic in New France. Now, this is what's going on, right? The reason why They never want to pay up for this because they giving you that, they telling you the story that the people right now they paying, that they giving reparations to and all this shit are the people that this shit happened to. But if you was enslaved in the 1600s, if you was enslaved back then, how you talking about 30 to 50,000 people? So you telling me 30 to 50,000, which we know the numbers are more. So you telling me 30 to 50,000 people don't know who the fuck they are no more? And what are they classified as today? Crickets. I know. All right, so from New Orleans, it say untold numbers. I read that. It's just being calculated. It say will ultimately include thousands who were not exported from their regions but lived out their lives as slaves on plantation in Virginia, as labor, as farm laborers in Connecticut, and as domestic in New France. Now we need to. I don't know where New France is at. I never heard New France. Let me write this shit down, yo. Where's New France at? I never heard of New France. We gonna get busy with this. New France. I never heard of it. Okay. It says, although the scales of enslavement, although the scales of enslavement pales in comparison to the African slave trade, it is noticeable, for instance, that from 1670 to 17, now we know it ain't from no 1670. It was from, what did I read yesterday? It said from the 1500s, from the time they got here. Look. All right, disembarkation regions is the regions where they dropped them off. So that you definitely want to put that up there. You put embark, you put the cells embark and disembark. And here in this column, you put broad disembarkation regions. Okay, honey, you want to put a 100-year period, right? Now, if they was enslaving you from 1619, why they only got a 100-year period? Why they only got a 100 year? Why don't they have 1619 to when? They stopped importing blacks about 1808. So that's 1619, 1808. That's 189 years or 191 years or something to that region. All right. Skills me on my math. All right. Now, let me see something. Now, look. All right, right here. Mainlands of North America. Okay. Now they telling you from 1601 to 1700s. All right, they're saying 19 to 15,000 people. Then from 17 to 1800, it's almost 350,000 people or embarked. The people who got on disembarked, the people who got off 300,000. All right, it go down and they give you a total number. Embarked is almost 500,000. And disembark is 380,746. Now say British Caribbean, and they got all this. But I'm dealing with the North America right here. We dealing with this, okay? Because we know they're telling you 380,000 people here. Now, in this article alone, they telling you that it was almost 50, and we know it was way more people than that. Because check this out. I can pull up articles that show you that they tell you that they took either from 2.2 to 5 million people from here. They enslaved that many people in this region. So they give you these little ass numbers because we know. See, look, listen, let me tell you something. If they give you a higher number than the Africans, you're going to start thinking. So they always try to make these numbers sound so fucking small. Oh, they killed off all the people. They didn't kill them off by disease. They killed them off by paperwork. That's how they killed you off, okay? Now, say, although the scale of pale comparison to the African, did I read that? Oh, no, let me get back with this. Although the scales of enslavement pales the comparison to the African slave trade, it is notable, for instance, that from 1670 to 1717, far more American Indians was exported from Charleston than Africans were brought in. Scholars long have known about the Indian slave trade, Because they don't want nobody to know about this. Because somebody gonna start asking fucking questions. Somebody gonna start pulling up what the Indians look like here. Okay? It say, but guess what? You got the taunts in this one. It say, but the scattered nature of the sources deterred a systematic examination. No one had any conception of the trade massive extinct and that played such a central role in the lives of early Americans and early colony economy. Okay? Now, the slavery complicates the narrative and say we have created of a white and black world with Indians residing outside. Remember, the Indians was classified as black. Okay, we don't need to even play around with these people. The Indians is classified as black. All right. And that's what I tell you. That's what I try to tell people. Let me see something. Do I got my I ain't got the chart up. So now when I show you the chart and I show you how many people was here, where did people go? Where did these people go? They telling you that they was enslaving fucking they was enslaving so-called Indians. So where the fuck did the Indians go? Okay, so we right here. All right, hold up. Let me make sure. All right, so we right here. It say European history. It say so that plantation American Indian community became entwined. It say we find planters make more money from slave trading than planting. It say, and if we look more closely, we find Indians not only enslaved on plantations, but working as police forces to maintain those plantations. What? Hold up, man. Hold up. So they had the Indians was the overseers working as police forces to maintain those plantations and receiving substantial rewards for returning runaway slaves. So your own people was doing it. So it say we are also learning a great deal more about American Indian people. Okay, we know all about them. That's us all day, every day. Okay. Say mostly important, we can now tell the stories, the tragedies that befell so many who were killed in slaving wars and spent their days as slaves from their homes. It say they and their people has been largely forgotten. The Nanchek, the Westos, the Yamasis, the Yuchi, the Yazo, and the Tawasa, it say are among dozens of Indian people who fell victims to the slaving wars, and the surviving force, and survivors forced to join other native communities. Yo, man, that's us, bro. That's us, okay? That's us. That's us. We are these people right here. It say these are the tales that Indians themselves have not told, because the Indians they don't know who the fuck they are, because it's us. They telling the Indians, they telling the real Indians that they African. So they don't even know. They don't even know. That's us. Now, let me say that one more time. It said these tales that Indians themselves have not told, just as the story of Indian slavery has excluded from Europeans' past. See, they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about it. It was largely forgotten in American Indian tradition. American often wish the past would just go away. Make America great again. When was America great? When was it great? I'm waiting. It was always great for the Europeans, but when was it great for the Aborigines? Before they got here. Okay. So all right. It said American offense. All right, I read that. All right, it say Pocahontas. I ain't even gonna touch on Pocahontas. We already went over that the other day. All right. It say Indian slavery is an important part of South Carolina history that many know nothing about. Because people are going to start saying, well, hold up. My grandmother said I was an Indian. Now I know why she said I was an Indian. Now I know why. I know why. See, they trying to make you forget by saying you're African, because they knew that this history was going to come back out. Now what they did was try to open a can of worms by confusing people by saying, no, all you have to do is find the numbers. How many Indians was here? Hold up. We got pictures of what the Indians look like. Hold up. We're going to go deep in this shit, man. Let me get finished reading this. If I can find out where the hell I was at. My bad. Let me find out where the hell I was at. All right. Oh, yeah, I was right. Sorry. Indian slavery is an important part of South Carolina history that many know nothing about. No other state has many historical documents that chronicle Native American slavery as South Carolina. As the historian Luber concludes, American Indian slaves were most numerous in the South Carolina, and the number of Indians exported was larger than that from the other colony. Indian slavery intermingle with every aspect of colonial research of South Carolina. Indian slavery became soon after settlers arrived and persistent through the colonial period. Knowing about the Indian enslavement is important, impressive, and persistent role in the history of South Carolina, and became no, I'm sorry, my bad. And because it has affected the Native American citizens of the state, Indian slavery contributed to the development of the colony economically, agriculturally, politically, and legally. In Indian slavery in colonial South Carolina made a large and indelible, I guess that's how you pronounce it, indelible mark upon the tribal history. Now, they're gonna show you these images of these fucking mongoloids, but we already know none of the mongoloids wear feather crowns, none of them. So the gig is up. The gig is up. In short, the destiny of many of the Native American Indian tribes of the regions was influenced and determined, and demeaned by Indian affairs, which centered in Charleston. Okay, you know why Indian affairs is telling you not Indians, because they don't want to fucking give you your bag. All right, it was slavery more than war or disease that destroyed the coastal tribe. Nah, Well, hold up. Let me go back. It was slavery more than war or diseases that destroyed the small coastal tribes. What's the coastal tribes? Terra Nova, the Atlantic seaboard, the coastal tribes. When they tell you the coastal tribes, they telling you the people who lived on the outskirts from Massachusetts all the way down to Florida and the Caribbean. Okay. You say as early as 1683, we already know the numbers were way before that. It say the proprietors have heard that the settlers was making war on Indians around Wanya Bay in order to obtain slaves. Since the proprietors have given permission to the Indian captures in the West Indies, the trade in the slaves was stimulated, and soon the colonists could not distinguish between Indians taken in war and those acquired in other ways. The Indian slave trade was expanded when the Scottish colony was started at Port Royal in 1684. They say the first law relating solely to slavery was passed in 1691. This law operative for almost 2 decades. Okay, now I say almost 2 decades. The Assembly passed a regulation for slaves so comprehensive that it deserves to be called South Carolina First Slave Code. Much of the the slave code was borrowed in large part from the Barbados Slave Code of 1688. The South Carolina statute defined any Negro, mulatto, Indian who have been bought or sold as such to be a slave, and the status was extended to the children of such person. Say, although the laws of 1712, 1722, and 1735 recognize the children of Indian slavery to be slaves, and say they also recognize as free those Indians in friendship and admittedly, say with the provincial government. It say the presumption of the law PF 1740, which continued Indian slavery, was in favor of freedom and placed the burden of proof upon those who claim Indians as slaves. Motherfucker, we Indians, man. We need to get our bag, bro. Okay? need to get our bag, bro. They fucking lying to us, bro. It say in the colonial records from 1683 to 1690, it say 17 Indians were mentioned. Undoubtedly, there was more. They say the total of 100 Indian slaves by 1700 is a conservative estimate, but 1703. They say there was approximately 7,000 people living in Carolina. This estimate did not include any of the isolate native communities. I told you that. Now I told you it said it did not include any of the native communities. Okay? They did not conclude them. So where the fuck are these people on the census? Because they classified as black. They're classified as black. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Where I'm at, okay. Let me put my mouse up here because I keep forgetting where the fuck I'm talking too much. All right, so 17,000 person live in Carolina. Estimate did not include the isolate native community who were not counted, but focused on heavily populated areas, of whom 3,000 were, yeah, all right, African slaves. They lying. In addition, there was 350. They always gonna try to make the number of so-called Indians lower than the Africans that was born here, because this to keep you from being an Indian. 100 men, 150 women, 100 children. Indian constituted over 10% of the total number of slaves. They say, now that's a lie. They say 5 years later, the population total approximately 8,000. That's a lie too. Say over one half. Let's say over one half was African slaves, an additional 1,400 Indian slaves. They say there had been an increase of over 400% in the numbers of Indian slaves. They said an increase of 400%. Okay? They say of number of Indian slaves since 1703. What the fuck? My bad. All right. Where was I? All right. All right. So since 1703, it say from 1704 to 1708, it said there is a documented 4 bills of sale and 3 wills, which involve a minimum of 19 Indian so-called POWs. Within this period, number of Indians increased by 1,500. Many changed hands for ready sums of money with no paperwork required. This is partially explained by the fact that the Indians were not expensive at their they lying. So you telling me they telling you that the Indians was not expensive as so-called Africans? They was not expensive as so-called Africans when they was built the same. We was built. Look, man, come on, man. The gig is up, bro. They gonna sit here and keep fucking lying, but we got the images. And there's no way in the world you gonna tell us that these is not black people. And then we got the Smithsonian Institute telling you. We got all of this shit right here, bro. All this shit right here. And we got, like I said, Aboriginal races of America. Okay, it say these facts, however, are mere exception to the general rule. What's the general rule, Thompson? This one. Oh, the general rule, and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is undivinely characteristic as that of a Negro. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. These lying motherfuckers. And look. All right, hold up. All right, so African slaves at that time, say, were in reasonable good supply. Some planters used them in their right field and say until they can afford the Africans. They trying to make you think that these Africans that they brought here, oh, they were so much better to work on the land, or they were so much better to do it. They lying, bro. They're lying. The number of Africans they brought here compared to the Indians that they enslaved. Why would they go get Africans? Would be easy to enslave the Indians? And they telling you they did it. They just undermining the number. But we don't need them to undermine the number because we got all the research of what the people seen when they got here. What they seen when they got here. If you found Negroes here and you telling me that the Indians was Negroes, then you're lying. Okay? All right, so 1704, the General Assembly passed a law making the trusty slave available in time of war. It say a list of of able-bodied Negroes, mulatto, and Indian slaves prepared. Consequently, Indian slaves fought for the colony long before the American Revolution. Now, hold up. See what I'm saying? Like, yo, this tells everything right here, and they telling it to an ignorant person they don't know. Now, this ignorant person that's reading it could have 5 college degrees. But if they don't understand what the hell was going on here, then they're going to be lost in the fucking sauce. Now, and Indian slaves were prepared. Consequently, Indian slaves fought in the colony long before the American Revolution. It say slaves were maimed or killed in action, the owner would receive compensation from the public treasury. Ultimately, there was extensive slave trafficking and Indians captured during the Tuscarora War of 1711 and the Yamasee War 1715 and 1760. The slave trade even deployed that resistance of other American Indian group and therefore encourage the diplomat potential of American Indian slaves. Sometimes these countries return American Indian slaves to the respective tribes. That's bullshit. They ain't return them nowhere because they reclassify them as black. It say to gain peace. They lying. It say in friendship. This is right here just to make you say, oh, well, they didn't classify them as Indians. They kept them as slaves. They just told you that they kept these people lifetime. They kept them lifetime. Lying motherfuckers. Where the hell was I at? It say peace and friendship. It say in military alliance. The British practiced this among the French and Spanish, although some historians contend that Indian slavery dwindled after the Yamasee War, but quite the opposite is true. There was more Indians to be slaves and their labor was demanded. There was an estimate of more. They trying to give you these low numbers, man. More than 2,000 Indian slaves in South Carolina in 1724. Indian slaves was branded like cattle. The most common spot of branding was their right and their left breast. It say with the first and last initial of the owner. Okay, some devil who ain't supposed to be on this land who just came here. It say the slave codes in 1740, which determined the legal destiny of slaves, war, and endured the end of the 18th century. The code dated May 10th, 1740, defined slave as chattel property, thereby abandoning the definition of slaves. Continuing since 1693, slavery was thus based upon this law and its comprehensive definition, and not upon the customs. It say as it was in the past. Children of slaves were to follow the conditions of the mother. This was the most comprehensive slave code, and the colonial period regulated the slaves from the cradle to grave. Say after the enactment of 1740, a slave code, Indians and descendants of Indians were regarded as free Indians and free people of color, and the amenity with the government until the contrary could be shown to differentiate between the enslaved Indians. It say it is a phrasing in that code 1740, which was later interrupted by the courts as the ending of Indian slavery in the South Carolina. However, are at least 25 Indian slaves are recorded during 1770, with 12 of them run away and 3 included as a part of the inventory of the estate. It say the concluding phrase of Indian slavery in South Carolina was incorporated in the series of laws enacted in 1790. It say a statute enacted of December 21st, 1792, 2 years after the United States Census, was to prohibit further importation of slaves in the state, which included Indians, mulatto, mestizo. As late as 1830, Native Americans were in South Carolina fighting for their rights and re-evaluating. Now, hold the fuck up. Listen to this, right? If Americans were still in South Carolina, It says in 1838. When was the Trail of Tears? 1830. So I thought all of the Indians had to go in there. So they telling you who the hell we are. Okay? So I mean, like I said, I ain't even reading no more of this shit, man. Let me just finish it off. It said South Carolina fighting for their rights and reevaluating the interpretation of slave code from 1740. During the course of the Indian slavery, the South Carolina Indians were used as in a variety of ways. They were employed. My bad. They was employed the same way that Negro slaves was utilized. They say this article is one of many in educational teachers guide South Carolina Indians today, edited by William Monroe Guns. Hold up for a minute. Let me answer this. This was AP. AP, what up? You can't see the screen, really? Oh shit! Damn. Now it's on now. It should be on now. Let's see. Can you see it now? Damn, I don't know what the fuck happened then. They must be fucking with my shit, yo. Let me see something. Hold up. Nah, you ain't on. Hey, yo, I don't know what the fuck happened. Why is it not letting me share the screen, y'all? Or the people that's in the chat room? Let me see something. Yeah, word is bond, yo. Hey, yo. I'm still, yeah, I'm good, though. I was talking to you. I'm good. I'm going to holler back at you, though, AP. Thanks, bro. You want to come in? I'm sorry, that was my boy AP. All right. Yo, I don't know what the fuck happened, yo. I don't know why it stopped me letting me share the screen. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what the fuck happened. But y'all can still hear me, right? Press one if y'all can hear me, at least. Let me see something. Let me see. All right, y'all can still hear me? Yeah, man. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what happened. I was sharing the screen. It stopped me from sharing the screen. Let me see something. Hold up for 1 second, y'all. Still with y'all. Just bear with me. Wow. I sent you that link, AP. Yo, I don't know what the fuck happened, yo. Let me see something. Why is it showing? It's not letting me share my screen. I don't know what the fuck happened, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what happened, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. Why it's not letting me share my screen no more. But yeah, it don't matter. They ain't gotta start nothing because the images are already out there. The images are already out there. So if I don't do it, somebody else gonna do it. So it really don't even matter. We know that the motherfucking slaves in this country was Aborigines, and we know that the Aborigines are us because the people who were being enslaved would be people who lost their culture. Okay, but they trying to make it say, oh well, after the Indians was enslaved, so what happened to the Indians who never got a chance to go back to their tribes? So what happened to them? They just so happened to, come on, man, the gig is up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, I just sharing my screen. It just stopped me from sharing my screen for some reason. I don't know why. Or whatever. It's not allowing me to. I'm still trying right now. Let me see something too.
Yeah, I thought something was up with it too, cause you reading, you know, I'm like, shit, it just disappeared.
Let me see.
So it was getting to the good part too.
Let's say you are sharing screen. It say stop. It say present to everyone. I'm fucking sharing my screen, and it's not letting me. Y'all can't see nothing, right?
Stop sharing it, then share it again. See what that do.
Let me see something. Every time I click on it, all it's doing is going to the same fucking screen. Like, all right, let me do it now. Nah, it's telling me, it just came down and tell me that I'm sharing it, but it's not showing me. It's not showing me nothing on the application window. So I'm gonna stop it, man. I ain't gonna share it no more though. But y'all pretty much know the signs. Y'all pretty much know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I just pretty much showed y'all the pictures and everything. It's read the Smithsonian Institute as well as other articles. And I got like at least 11 different articles telling you about the so-called Aborigines that was enslaved. Okay, so they telling you that the Indians resemble Negroes. The Smithsonian Institute telling you that the first Americans, modern Native Americans, resemble Korean, Chinese, and Japanese, but the earliest Americans resemble African. So we already know that these people they talking about looked it like us.
Right.
But it just so happened. Oh, these people disappeared. We don't know what happened to them. They come on, man. The gig is up, man. The gig is fucking up. Your grandmother told you was an Indian. You know you're an Indian. That's why they rather give these fucking devil ass crackers these fucking this land and money and everything. And they only 1/22nd, and some of them ain't even Indians. And they still can get money because this is white supremacy. This is the system that was set up against us. You
Right.
understand? So there was a system set up against us, man. And the system is still going. Make America great again. We already know what the fuck that means.
Yeah,
You understand what
stealing
I'm
your
saying?
shit, man. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
That's like damn near I want to say 95% of all the Indian tribes in Alabama nowadays are pale skin.
Bro,
White people.
how?
I mean like
How?
real white people.
But
Like no.
how are they allowed to claim? How are they allowed to fucking claim that they Indians, but we not?
Well, it ain't like that we can't. We just don't. We don't even know. People don't even know. People
I
don't
don't
even know
want,
they Indian.
bro. I don't want to be on no reservations with none of them.
I don't want to be
None
on
of
no
them.
reservation,
I
but what I'm
mean, I'm
saying
not.
is, a lot of these pale faces are recognized. They're not even recognized. They the same tribes that your people came from. They just the integrated. Our people is not claiming that no more.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When the last
Yup.
time your grandma went to a tribal meeting? Cause they
Because
don't even know they part of it. But these white people are having it right now.
yup. Yup.
When I
And
looked
they
at
should be sued. They should be sued like y'all phonies. There wasn't no white people here. So if they telling you that the colonists came here and was born with the Indians, then how the fuck are you an Indian then? can you, you
Exactly.
a colonist, you the colonist that shouldn't even been on the land. You came here with the other Europeans to take the land from us, and then now you claiming to be us? Come on, man. And that's the same thing through rap, through all this other stuff. Fucking Elvis Presley, all this shit. Everything that you done, they took from you, and these motherfuckers is claiming it so they can make money off of it. Cause they ain't got
That's
shit in
right.
Europe. We know y'all ain't got shit in Europe. We know y'all was eating dead babies on salt. Y'all ain't had no food. That's the reason why y'all came here. Why would somebody
Right.
leave their land and then come to a land and enslave the people of the land and then reclassify them as Africans?
Right. They was doing some. I mean, they really don't. That's a period of time that Europeans don't even like to discuss. They don't want to
Oh,
talk about the early 1000 AD all the way up to the 1600s.
they don't.
What was
Don't
going
want to talk
on?
about it. That's
They
right.
don't
They
want to
don't want
talk about it because these people were so fit. Listen, man, they were monsters, man. They were beasts. You understand? Just savages, just filthy animals, man. No bull crap.
you know what it is? Now, because they got haircuts and they wear suits and shit, now everybody think that they are such honorable fucking people.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They think they such honorable people when these are the same people who still dwell. None of these Europeans, all these Europeans that's on this
Well,
land came here through
right.
the same.
And you just made something that made sense. Do you shave a lot?
Hmm?
Do you shave a
So
lot? You.
nah, hell no,
And I'm
nah,
pretty sure a
absolutely.
lot of the Aboriginals in here don't shave because it's the old wise tale that people just say Indian don't grow hair, right, on their legs and arms, right, on their face,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, right. But then
Yeah.
you look into the stores, you gonna see shaving cream, all kind of goddamn razors, right? Who you think that's for? So you won't know that they are beasts, man. They
Mm-hmm.
spend billions of dollars just trying to hide that they're beasts, man. Trying to shave
Yup.
their hairy ass body, man.
Yup. And that's what it is. And like I said, I'm just saying, man. I mean, anybody know the history, pretty much know that this shit was done on purpose. They just told you during Reconstruction that they ain't tell, because if they told you that they enslaved the Indians, somebody gonna get smart enough and say, well, hold up. What did the Indians look like? Number one, what did the Indians look like? And where are they at now? Now we got plenty of evidence. I'm telling you that the Indians and the Indians are Negroes. Plenty
Right.
of
And
evidence. Plenty.
dig this. You said that the the original Indians, right? The first Indians resemble modern day Africans, right?
Exactly.
Ain't that ironic that we resemble modern day Africans as well?
That's it. And your grandma told you the Indian. So
Put two and two
you know,
together.
I
Two and
mean,
two.
it ain't got to put it together no more. It's already a fact. This shit is a fact. It's a fact. It's a fucking fact, bro. It's not even because in every remember, they was not important Africans everywhere. So the
Right.
people that was in Massachusetts, they ain't even bring no Africans to Massachusetts. They just gonna keep lying to you, telling you that. The people in Massachusetts, them was the indigenous people who was enslaved there. But because they dark skinned, they want you to believe that. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. Like they niggas should be sued on the premise that they telling you that the people look like African. But now you telling us that no dark skinned person here was an Indian when we got the pictures and everything to prove it.
Show me one African wearing tobacco leaves.
How he gonna last on a boat a 5-month journey wearing them? You understand? There's no way you're going to last no 5-month journey wearing no damn feather crown and wearing no damn grass or tobacco skirt. It's not going to happen. We got the same images that took to Europe. Yo, man, it's like, yo,
Right.
the history is dead. Like it's dead. And you got these African scholars that's so ignorant and stupid, then they can't fathom this because they fell under the spell, and then now the DNA shit is just fucking with them more. Now that whole
Yeah.
DNA shit is just fucking it's just making everything worse
Yeah, it
because
really
now
is.
it's making everything worse
And
because they
but
want
they
you
ain't
to.
listening. But they ain't even listening to what the people that created these tests and running these operations saying. Well, listen, man, the percentage is so low. It's really a lie. That's how low it is. 0.1, 0.01. That's so low. That's lower than 1%, man. That's lower than
bro.
one
They,
percent. That's pretty much a lie. They just guess.
bro, all they did with this whole thing was lie. They brought over a few Africans and then try to tell you, oh, they try to what they tried to do was, you know what? I can't even see my screen, yo. Hold up. Yeah. So what they tried to do was they tried to make sure that they fucking hold up. Let me see something. Oh, Eileen Bay got something going on. Let's say slavery and the slave trade. He doing pretty much the same thing what we talking about.
Shawnetta, Dagger Squad live talking about Dan Calloway once again.
Yeah, but they, I mean, like I said, bro, they don't want to. I
They
mean,
they through, man. These are the pseudo characters that we be trying to tell y'all about. And then if y'all don't do y'all own research, these people will lie right there in your face. They'll tell you the oldest pyramids here only go back 2,600 years. They'll lie to you just like that.
bro, they already lied, bro. We ain't got. We done went all the way back. We done went back 3 million years all the way to now. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We 300 million years. We done went from there all the way until right now, and they proved to you that look, I can't prove that them people that they found Illinois was niggas, but guess what? I know ain't no Europeans don't wear gold because they too fucking greedy. They want to put it in a safe. We will wear that shit
Right.
on our body. So if they found somebody in Illinois with a damn gold chain 300 million years ago, and nowadays we wearing gold chains, who the fuck was? We know we're European. We know it wasn't no damn Indians don't wear gold. We the only one who wear all the shit that they found here. But you are African. And like I said, man, like, no, they lying. They just stole your history. They got Europeans on the fucking on these reservations claiming to be Indians when none of them Indians. None of them. They just walking around doing these stupid ass dances and shit or whatever, wearing war bonnets, wearing fucking Daniel Boone clothing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's all they doing. And Daniel Boone was a Negro too. He was a Negro too. They said when they dug his body, when they unearthed his body was he was what they said like a 6'7" black man. They found a black man body in his fucking grave. So they, man, listen, like I said, Aborigines, man. You know, I mean, you gotta go back. You ain't gotta track nothing. You could say you ain't gotta track your heritage. You ain't gotta track it. And I got an article up here that I really was gonna go in on, but now I can't even go on it because it's not allowing me to share my screen. It says, I'm gonna read a little bit of it to you guys. All right. Let me just open it up.
I
Let
didn't
me
catch
see
that
if I can
last
share.
part,
Maybe
everyone. It went out a little bit.
it went out a little bit. I said I'm about to pull up another article and just zip through it a little bit. See? My
Okay.
circus. I mean, this shit be fucking disappearing. Every time I try to click on, look at this shit. Let me see something. Let me see if I can share it now. Now it's look, this shit is goofy as hell, y'all.
You don't know what the fuck going on.
You can't even see nothing, right?
Nah, I can't see anything, bro.
Bro, yeah, they bullshit. It's some bullshit, bro. They stopped me from sharing the screen. All right, so right now what I'm about to read, I'm gonna read a little bit of this. I'm gonna do another video on this shit tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
your screen ain't even showing up. Really, shit.
said my screen ain't even showing. My logo ain't even
Avatar.
showing up, right?
Yeah, yeah, Avatar ain't even showing up, bro.
Man, man, man.
Yeah,
Let me see if in the chat. Let me see in the
yeah.
chat room they can hear me. This is the first time this shit happened. Can y'all still
Can
hear
y'all
me in the
hear in the
chat
chat?
room?
Can y'all hear in the chat room, family? Yeah, man. Peace, everybody that's out here. Peace, Brooklyn lady. Anissa, Ron Redbird, Nika, Ghost, Peace, Healing Thought, Inspiration, Lisa, Coco Gold, peace, absolute peace. Soup
Yeah, they
Bone,
got
my favorite fake African, peace. That's my bro. Soup Bone, y'all got show Soup Bone love, man. He coming home soon.
yeah though. I mean,
Peace, everybody, man. Peace, peace.
bro, I you know why they made all these laws that stopped you from being an Indian. They don't want. They let
Show
white
me,
people
show
be
me,
Indians.
show me one law that stop you from being an African, though.
That's right. That's right. And you know what I'm saying? They let these white people be Indians when they know where no Europeans here.
Show
You know
me
what I'm
any,
saying?
show me any African on the census.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what the deal is. Like these man, come on, bro. Like, I mean, for real.
And
Like, this shit is
I'm
this,
still waiting on the freedmen's paper. Out of all these slaves, and out of all these slaves that supposedly got free, ain't nobody got no freedmen's paper. So y'all family be legit and straight and secure when y'all out moving around. Come on, man, that shit will be framed and hand down from generation to generation, man. I ain't seen one yet.
bro. Yeah, see. And then certain, like, all right, what I'm reading now, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna read a little bit of this to you. Let me see. I ain't gonna be able to show my screen, y'all, but we're gonna get through this, all right? So what I'm reading now is Native American blood quantum facts and myths, all right? So, all right. All right. It
Uh,
say what can y'all hear me? You can hear me, right? You can hear me, AP, right?
yeah, you clear, you clear. It was going out a little bit.
All right. All right. It say what is blood quantum? It say a myriad of questions from cascade forth depending on person of their understanding of what you are asking. It say for in some communities, a person could be counted a full-blooded but not meet the minimum quantum to enroll in a particular tribe. This mainly because a person of multiple tribes, but you only count the tribe you are enrolling with. And yet nations, tribes, and band continues to use blood quantum as a basic for enrollment and citizenship with particular tribe. It say what can keep a full blood. Mute your mic for me, AP. It said, what can keep a full blood from being enrolled in one tribe? It said, but the same person could meet the minimum of as little as 1/16th degree. It's how in the world could a person with 1/2000 degree of Indian blood receive the same benefits as a full-blooded one? It said, I will attempt to fully answer this question and perhaps give an insight into this very complex issue. But first, a history lesson. All right. Now I say blood quantum is a modern sense for the official used by the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Okay. It say after the passage of the Indian Recognition. Now hold up. Indian Recognition Act of no, the Indian Reorganization Act. Okay. Of 1935. I'm sorry, of 1934. My bad. Of 1930. I'm gonna write this down. Hold on, let me write this down so I can look that up when I'm done. All right, 1934. All right. It's a better known as the Indian Welfare Act. It's an awakening interest in in the affairs of native population. It said has come to the forefront due to several events. During World War I, Native troops had played a significant role in the theater operating, including as code talkers, combat troops, and gave distinctive services in the U.S. military in 1924. Now, remember, what happened in 1924? 1924, Congress authorized Marion Server. Now, why would they keep putting all these crackers in charge of our shit? And they the one picking, oh, no, you're not an Indian. Oh, no, you're not an Indian. No, you're not an Indian. Because they're going by the Indians that they found west. They're using them as a template for what an Indian is, all right? So, let me get back. What was that? My bad, y'all. It's saying that spotlighted the conditions of the state of native population on the reservation in Oklahoma. The shocking condition under the regiment established by the Dawes General Allowment Act of 1887. It say as detailed in the Marion Report of 1928, spurred demands for reform. Many of the Marion Report recommendations for the reform were incorporated in the Indian Recognition Act of 1934. The act control the future allotment of the tribal communal land to the individuals and provided for the return of surplus lands to the tribes rather than the homesteaders. The Homestead Act. That's something I gotta look up to. The homesteader. It say and also encourage written constitutions and charters giving natives the power to manage their Indian affairs. See, you got to go through them, and you the original Indians. You got to go through them. It say finally, funds was authorized for establishment and the credit program for the tribal land purchases, education assistance, and the aid of tribal organization. At first, only 150 of 500 tribes or villages adopted the written constitution under the Act's provision. In addition, applied for and received monies for revolving credit funds. This allowed many tribes to improve their economic position. With the funds for purchase of land, millions of additional acres were added to reservations, greatly improved staff and services were provided in health education, with more than half of the Indian children in public schools by 1950. All right, so by 1950, it says the act awakened widened interest in civil affairs. The Indians began asking for franchises, which they have been technically granted in 1924. The Recognition Act remains the basis for the federal legislation concerning Indian affairs. The act basis aim with reinforced in the 1960s and 70s. It say by the further transfer administrative responsibility for reservations services to the Indians themselves, who continue to depend on federal government to finance those services. All right. So let me read some more of this. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go down for a minute. I want to see something else. So I wish I can show this shit to y'all, man. I actually want to stop this live stream and try to start it back up, man, because I don't know why the fuck it's not allowing me to show my screen. I don't know what the hell going on. But it's all right, though. All right, so see, I wanted to show y'all the screen because they show you what tribes and everything. And I'm gonna do this tomorrow because this shit, they won't let me share my screen. Let me see something. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let me try one more time. You still with me, AP?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah. So
bro,
I'm about to look and see. Go ahead.
I'm clicking on the screen, and it's not even allowing me to click on the screen. I can't even see my mouse, yo.
Oh yeah, just maybe it's going. Western South.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again, and it's still not allowing me to. Yeah, this some bullshit.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what the hell that shit is about.
Yeah, see? All right, so now, yeah, this is some bullshit. That's all right, though. You can't stop the truth. That's all right. I'll make another video tomorrow, the same fucking thing. It don't even matter.
And it was doing that also this morning a little bit when you was going in.
Oh, yeah, it was doing it this morning?
Yep.
My bad, y'all. Like I said, my bad. Once I get loaded, I can't really go from screen to screen when I'm reading all this different content up here, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as long as y'all can still hear it, if y'all want the articles that I read, I'll post them in the what's name when after I upload the video, because I actually be keeping them up on my screen, because I'll be reading, I'll be going back to them and saving them and everything. So for the most part, man, it's there, man. They gave you apology in South Carolina for so-called Africans when they're telling you that was Indians there, when it was Indian state. So what about the Indian? Why they not mention the Indian state? Because they don't want you to know that you're Indian.
Yeah, they
That's it. They
changing
can
the
stop.
narrative right now in front of you.
That's right. And they're going to keep changing it. And they're going to keep changing. The only people who can rechange it is us. We the only people who can rechange it. We the only people, like I said, these bootleg ass Negroes who part of these fucking churches and everything, all they gonna do is selling you out. That's all they gonna do. They getting paid the trinket. They getting the trinkets. They making over 100,000 a year while we struggle. While we make, I don't know, everybody ain't struggling, but for the most part, most of us are. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, at the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta go ahead and do the genealogy or whatever on your ancestry, and then, like I said, man, and claim what you are. Claim it. Claim what you are. Fuck that. Claim it and be loud about it. You understand what I'm saying? Be loud about it, because if you are African and you are American Indian all this time, and you got all these people here, and then you tell people that, and then people look at you like you lying. They look at you like you lying, like you making this shit up. Like, oh, I'm not an Indian. Like I'm making, so I done made all this shit up, right? And that, like I said, and that's pretty much been going on for years, man. This shit been going on for decades, man. Your grandmother told you what, and then, like I said, when I just reading that article, what it don't mention is Walter Plecker made the Racial Integrity Act in 1924. So it's funny how they was talking about 1924, and they passed laws for so-called Indians, but then they classified you as color when it gets told you that the Indians are classified as color too. So how do you know whether or not I was an Indian when you saying the Indians are classified as color? My birth certificate say color. Oh, but you're not one of the Indians. You're a cracker. You're not even from this land. So how the fuck you gonna tell me who I am? You understand what I'm saying? That's the real talk. The real talk is they shouldn't be telling you shit or who you is. You know, they know who the hell you are. And that's the more sinister part, because it's just not as straightforward as we think it is. It's some sinister shit going on, because they don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to know who you are. And that's pretty much what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? When you keep on fucking with my life, saying I could care less or whatever, you know what I'm saying? To life breath, to the breath taking out my body, I'm gonna keep on making videos. I'm gonna keep on presenting this information, and I'm gonna keep living and being an Aborigine. I'm not an African. And you motherfuckers already know I'm not an African, okay? I'm not an African. I'm not from Africa. My people is Aborigine and indigenous to the North America, Terra Nova, or Eastern Shoreboard, or the Southeast, Northeast section of the Americas, okay? So you keep on sitting there playing. We already got a Samuel Morton said in his book, The Aboriginal Races, that the Indian and the Negro is the same. The Smithsonian Institute tells you the first Americans resemble Africans. Okay, what are they telling you you are? It's so funny that you resemble them, and they telling you that you are them now. And they tell you modern Native Americans. So just that article alone be something that could be brought up and could be proven. But these lying ass crackers that sit there and lie to you in your fucking face and tell you, oh, well, no. They come up with shit as they go along. They come up with shit as they go along. And like I said, this shit right here will piss anybody off, especially when you see the history for what it is. Your grandmother told you was an Indian, but the only people telling you not an Indian is basically the government. And people who they put in front of these Indian affairs to tell you that you're not that. So, man, like I said, man, you know, y'all keep doing your research, man. And, you know what I'm saying, just keep coming through. I'll keep trying to bless y'all some good information, man. Because at the end of the day, man, somebody got to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't even, shit ain't even monetized no more. I can't monetize my channel. They stopped me from monetizing my channel. You know what I'm saying? I was getting a couple dollars off of the videos, you know, which was coming in handy or whatever. But at the end of the day, I could care less about that. I'm compelled to do this. It's something that I'm compelled to do. Even if I want to stop doing, I can't stop doing it. I tried to stop doing it a couple months ago, and I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm compelled to do it. Something in the spirit is compelling me to do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So at
That's
the end
right.
of the day, man, I hope y'all appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't the best formal speaker. I ain't got the best literacy skills as far as seeing on this damn screen. But guess what? I'm gonna sit out here and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna squeeze every last word out the best way I can just to let y'all people know exactly what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, you know, shout out to the Aborigines, man. Let me see who in the chat room, man. Let me see who in the chat. Yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Killer White Supremacy and Cool, Elegant Eyes, absolutely, absolutely. David Cluis, Lisa Robbins. What's up, Lisa Robbins? Red Bird, peace. Rick T, Valentine L, Nikki, what's up, Nikki? Ashley, Coco Gold, Cuban 11. I ain't see you in a minute, Cuban 11. Jaguar Omek, what's up, my brother? Charlotte Shepherd, say two birds of the same feather. MASGIB, Masged, Original One. What's up, my brother? Let me see what's in there. Kiowa, what's up, my brother? Noah the Don, peace. Charles Conroy, peace. White Power, say fuck niggas and bitches and what the fuck, yo, get your ass out of here, yo, man, get that nigga out of here, man. Hold up, let me get his ass out of here. The faggot ass out of here. Don't come back, cracker. Anicia, Holbert, peace. Let me see who else on here, man. See, motherfuckers don't got nothing better to do while people trying to learn, but to come through here, you know what I'm saying, and then and post stupid ass comments and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Chief Holiday, what's up, man?
Trolls.
Peace, Chief. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Alicia, American Aboriginal, peace, my sister. Let's ocean here. Look at this faggot ass motherfucker. Shit moving so damn fast, I can't even get his ass. Hold up. He said nigglers. That's all right. That's why you had hair. That's why y'all motherfuckers was crawling on all fours when you came there. You was crawling on all four. You crackers had to leave your land. You came to a whole nother land and decimated a whole group of people, and you proud about that. You proud about decimating a whole group of people. You came from your land because you ain't have nothing in Europe. You was putting dead babies on salt, eating dead babies, you fucking cannibal. Get your ass out of here.
See, that's that beast, man.
Get your ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker always coming here causing. What's up, Candace? How you doing? Healing through inspiration, peace. MJG 89, peace. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Lisa Roberts. I definitely appreciate you, my sister. Thank you. Yeah, you right. You right, Killer White Supremacy and Coon. You absolutely right, man. For come here, like you ain't got nothing better to do. You know what I'm saying? Go fucking go jump in the river or something. You know what I'm saying? Or go mate with your sister like you've been doing, you fucking animal. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And like I said, man, and if people come here and try to, like, listen, all we doing, this is history class. This is history class. And they hid the history from you in school. I'm 42 years old, so I'm relearning the history as I'm going along too. You know what I'm saying? I'm catching up to, yeah, my brother. Yeah, don't worry about it, cool, man. I know how it is, man. Don't worry about it. I know life is busy, man. You got to do what you got to do, brother. But I know you get a chance, you'll come through, man. As well as everybody else, man. Can't always be on time. Can't always come through when we want to come through. But for the most part, we come through when we get a chance, man. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck?
That's right.
Oh, Brooklyn lady. Brooklyn lady, what's up, man? I mean, what's up, sis? I'm sorry. I said, what's up, man? They say I fuck your bitches. No, you don't mess with, you don't fuck our bitches. You fuck swirlers. You fuck the same Indian aborigines that sold us out to like you for trinkets. So that's who
Right.
you mess with. You don't the real Indians wouldn't go nowhere near your white ass. So white power haul ass. As a matter of fact, no, I'm getting your ass out of here for good.
Oh, I don't even know who's saying that. I ain't even looking in the chat.
Now, how do you get his ass out of here?
Who is it? Who is it, A1?
Say hate speech and graphic. It's a
Who is it?
harassing. This guy. Let me see.
Who is it?
Hold
What's
up.
the name of him?
I'm sure. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Oh, his name White Power.
I ain't seen that motherfucker in here yet.
Get your ass out of here. I just reported your dumb ass. Get your ass out of here. What's up, Nino?
White Power. I don't even see this motherfucker. Where
Black
y'all see?
ruler. I think I just got him out of here. I just reported his ass. What's up, El Bora? How you doing, sis? Nonetheless, peace. What's up, my brother? They said you're all nuts. They said go bathe in lime juice.
Nah,
They're
you
saying
probably the only
absolute.
one. You probably the only one that can see that. Cause I don't even see it popping up, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't even see this nigga, man. This
He
white
said,
nigga.
I'm your God, nigga. No, you not. You ain't no God. You can't go. You ain't got no spiritual connections. That's why you want to stay on this planet so long, because you ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere after this. When it's over, it's over with after this for you. You ain't got
Yeah.
no soul.
Facts.
You ain't
His
got no.
ancestors is the troglodyte nigga.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You proud.
That's
You
all
come
he
in
got.
here. You proud to be part and parcel of Europeans that came here and decimated the whole continent and put and lied to people and told the people that they from another continent. That's no claim of fame. You proud of that? That's what you proud of? You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can give you a wrench. All right, I just gave you a wrench, my brother. Let me get. Where you at, Jaguar? On back. Let me give you a wrench too. Shit be moving so damn fast, man. You can't. Oh shit, man, I can't even catch it. Yeah, man. He tried to block. Yeah, man. I mean, but like I said, man, at the end of the day, I have serious questions, Auto One. What's up? Hit me with a question. What's up, Bobby Mugabe? What you got? See that guy Mark talking about African ancestry. Huh? Yeah. We already destroyed the Africa shit. We know that the people in Africa is not even from Africa. Africa is not the oldest fucking continent. It's not the oldest continent.
Can't be that old. They over there starving.
Yeah, they are. That's right. That's why they came here. Why do you think they came here? That's why they still here. If Africa was so damn beautiful, I mean, with the exception to the Europeans that live in South, well, they might really be from there. They might really be from there. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Ty Richardson. What's up, my brother? Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, say, are the Arwaks of Caribbean natural brown like us? Yeah. I just read the monthly anthropology, what's the name, with Trevor Julian and Brixton, and how they found, and they claimed they Indian miles, but they saying that they Negroes. Thank you, O1. I appreciate you. White power. Go troll. Go to one of your channels, man. Why you coming here? What, you get paid to do this? You get paid to come here and fuck with us? Probably so. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, man, you do your research, you find out what tribe you part and pro-sell to, and you keep it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, tomorrow I'll do another bill. Present another video. Hopefully I'll be able to share my screen and everything. Hopefully everything go correct or whatever for the most part. Matter of fact, hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second.
Right.
Go ahead, AP, go ahead and talk for a minute.
Yeah, man. Y'all just got to keep doing your research. Keep applying yourself to the number one most gratifying thing that you can come up with, man. The number one thing is research. Don't take nobody's word for it. Get out and do the research, man. He giving you the articles. He giving you the authors' names. He giving you the books. Dive into them. Read them to your kids. Let them know these beautiful stories about people here. You know what I'm saying? That's your peoples. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start taking pride in everything. So yeah, man, I think he went into the book with Richard Creedmoor. He dropped straight flame. You know what I mean? His career was on the line by just quoting things like 300 million years and shit like that. You know what I mean? There ain't no incident, no typo. It was deliberate. You see what I'm saying? Cause he trying to let you know, man. Like a lot of these people out here and these jokers, man, they get out here, they might be with a system that's been constantly rotation with the lie, then one of them break free and tell the truth. Y'all don't even know how to react to that. Y'all try to shout them as the rogue one. See what I'm saying? Them be the same ones that's constantly bringing the real truth, man, for what they heard could have eaten away at their consciousness. Some words, man, they can't even speak, man.
Yeah, man. I
Cause
mean,
they
like
are
I said,
faint, man.
that's how it is, though, at the end of the day, man. So, hopefully, man, y'all enjoyed this bill, man, as well as the bill earlier, man. Like I said, I be doing research to get this information to you guys, man. So I really hope you guys appreciate it, man. I gotta actually cut north, man. I gotta try to run to the store before it closes or whatever. But shout out to the Aborigines, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for coming through. Anybody got any questions? Just hit me up, man. Y'all got my email. I'm gonna put in the chat room. If anybody want to ask any questions about anything as far as the research or anything, or you just want to chat up, or just want to talk about some of the issues, man, just feel free to hit me, man. Definitely.
That's right.
Try to get back to y'all as soon as possible, man. Shout out to my brother, Aboriginal Power, who's on the mic with me. Chief Holiday, MIA, missing the action though, but that's my brother though. He trying to do his thing. But for the most part, man, I gotta cut off, man. I gotta get up out of here, man.
All
No
right,
doubt. You
peace,
sent me
everybody,
another
man.
email.
Peace, A1.
All right, no doubt. No seller. I'm gonna check my emails now. No doubt. Pamela Williams, I appreciate you too. Thank you. All right, Dave Clue, shout out to the Aborigines. That's right. Tia, they say I'm Arawak, and we are brown and dark light brown. Not much love. That's right. All right, that's what's up, y'all. And listen, I appreciate y'all. I'll be back with another heavyweight jam. This might have been a lightweight jam. I mean, who knows? It might have been lightweight, might have been heavyweight. But nonetheless, though, this is your boy the Taunch, this one. And love and light to everybody, and I'm out. Peace.